Hello, it is Saturday, August 27th, 2022. I'm Chris Primo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Saturday puzzle today, so it could very well be the most difficult puzzle of the week, a particularly devious crossword. We'll have to see. It's the second of two themeless puzzles for the week. And this, I don't know, maybe devious edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Cynthia Toms, Connor O'Neill, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Shillmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for bringing us this edition of the Daily Solve and for directly supporting the channel generally. Thank you so much for those generous contributions. I really do appreciate it, and thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. It means a lot to me. If you become a benefactor, you can get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, and of course, if you become a patron at any tier, you can get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, such as yesterday's mini puzzle speed solve, and what will go up today is a video containing solves of two more Boss Words Summer 2022 competition puzzles. Those, I sort of forgot about those. I realized I hadn't solved any of those in about a month, and so I solved two more yesterday. They were really fun. It's unusual doing timed competition puzzles that have themes, which these do. Usually the Boswords competitions are themeless, but these had themes. So doing those under time pressure was interesting and an enjoyable challenge. And that will be up, should be up probably by the time this video is up, if not shortly thereafter. So look for that if you're a patron. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field underneath the video, and that is where you can find other members of this community. And finally, thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you've done so, we are creeping towards 10,000 subscribers, which is very exciting. So thank you to everybody who has contributed to that near milestone. And now let's get on to the crossword itself. So this is a Saturday crossword. As noted, it's been constructed by Andrew Linzer, who has previously constructed one crossword for the New York Times, so this is his second, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shortz. We will not have a theme today, although we did have that pseudo-theme yesterday, so I don't know, you never really know for sure. But let's start solving. Blank Network, one-time HGTV spinoff. I'm not sure what HGTV is. It sort of sounds familiar, but I don't actually know what it is. Seated position. Not sure. Let's keep looking. Never thought I'd see the day. I don't know. I mean, it could be something like When Pigs Fly, except When Pigs Fly suggests you don't think something's going to happen, and Never Thought I'd See the Day suggests you thought it wouldn't happen, but it has. So I suppose that's not right. I'm not really sure. Rock variety. It could be or, if it's a kind of rock in the geological sense, but it could also be emo if it's a genre of rock music. Not sure. Let's look at those crosses just in case. Seated position. Yes, this has been brought to my attention. I'm aware. Okay, maybe that's it. You might hold different positions on it. Temporary decline. A sag? I don't know that necessarily needs to be temporary, but I can sort of imagine if you're describing a graph, you could say the trend line sagged a bit or something like that, implying that it came back up. Looking at this short one, laid down in a way. C as in see a bet in a game of poker? I'm not sure about that. Seated position. Not sure. Yeah, I just don't know. The reason I put emo there, it seems like a fairly arbitrary thing to enter if you haven't been solving the New York Times crossword for a while, but it's an incredibly common word in New York Times Phil because it's just a short, useful collection of letters. And so this particular music genre is one to remember in solving the New York Times crossword. Anyway, let's keep going for now. Bit of album listing, album info. Oh, sorry, I started thinking track listing. No, that doesn't fit. Let's look at the downs. This is a very long across. Taxes. So it could be taxes as a noun. taxes that you pay, but it could also be taxes as a verb. In other words, sort of it taxes you, it strains you, that kind of thing. Which would mean it would end in an S. Does that help at all? First Stuart King of England. Oh, James the First. Why didn't I look at that before? So this would be James the Sixth and First. So James the Sixth of Scotland and First of England, which I really enjoy that. James the Sixth and First. That was because he was the King of Scotland and then also acquired the throne of England and then sort of merged the countries into what would be called a sort of, I think, personal rule, how you'd refer to that. So the countries still had separate parliaments for another century or so, but shared a single monarchy, and then later became the Kingdom of Great Britain and shared a parliament as well. Anyway, seated position. Something jar? Jam? Nickname that elides Vin. Melvin? Mel? Is that? Yes, sorry. I was thinking, yes, it is Mel. I was thinking that doesn't seem right because Vin isn't a nickname for Mel. I was thinking, doesn't really matter. I was thinking Vin because that itself is a name. What's that a nickname for? But that's not the question. It's what elides Vin, what nickname removes the Vin, and Mel is in Melvin. So there we go. Okay. Blank Nkrumah, 1st PM and President of Ghana. Oh. I'm not sure if this is something I'm going to recognize or not. Although it's certainly something I should know, so that's annoying that I don't. It looks, I mean, to be honest, it looks like the name Kwame to me, which would be an appropriate name. Kwame Nkrumah? Is that with an I or an E? Taxes. I'm guessing with an E based on this, if it's a verb especially. Well, maybe I won't put that in yet. Oh, so seated position is a desk job. There we go. Okay, so look at that. We had two sort of important first heads of state, Kwame Nkrumah and James the First and Sixth. Okay. Temporary decline. Maybe it is a sag. You might hold different positions on it. A yoga mat. There we go. So what is this? DIY network. One-time HGTV spinoff. Okay, is HGTV something to do with home improvement or something? It sort of sounds like maybe, but I can't think of what it actually stands for. Someone will tell me overnight. Lay down and away. Bet. Right. Okay, I was on the right track, actually, strangely enough, in terms of betting money. And it's funny that worked out, but didn't have the right terminology. So kind of health, oral health, fair enough. Taxes, okay. So I've pretty much closed out that corner. Scanned, perhaps. Something with an ED? Not sure. Okay, show some hesitancy. Hem and haw, I wonder? I'm not sure. Blank the day, exclamation from 12th night. Not sure offhand. Reach quickly in a way. And kind of sauce made with peanuts. Satay sauce? Is that how you spell that? Because there's also chicken satay with an AY, but I think that's a different thing. I think this satay sauce with peanuts is SATE. Okay, prepare oneself. You could steal yourself, maybe? Steal oneself for, I don't know, an impact or something? Reach quickly in a way. Yeah. North Carolina County, whose seat is Jefferson. No idea. Vibe could be a feel? Not completely confident about that. 1890 admission to the Union, abbreviations. This would be presumably a state of the U.S. 1890. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll just have to wait until we get some crosses. Makes nervous or worries. Like a sauna, heated? I mean, that seems maybe too obvious for a Saturday puzzle. They come with conditions. Something with an S. Trees that canopy Central Park's literary walks. Walk elms? I kind of just think it's probably elms. I'm sure I've seen them in person actually, but I don't know. I bet it's elm. I just bet it's elm trees. It's, for some reason that feels like what it would be. They come with conditions, right? Okay, like a sauna. Oh, steamy. That's better than heated. Okay, a sauna would be steamy. Makes nervous or worries, and squeezes. Ekes maybe, as in squeezes out some income, ekes out some income. I mean, I think it works, but I'm not. It doesn't seem blindingly obvious that it's correct, so I'm going to delete it. Super useful item. This is a pretty impressive. Look at this stack here. We had a stack recently, and I was reminded that that's by someone in the comments that that's a term when you have these answers like this without anything breaking them up. You know, we've got these long answers stacked directly on top of one another. So this is a stack. I suppose these are as well, but this one is 5 tall, which is impressive. I think that's a stack. I'm sorry if I'm using that phrase incorrectly. Anyway, let's look around here. The models of most of its names, the names of most of its models, that should be, end in X. Acura, actually, strangely enough, I think I just remembered that weirdly. I think the car manufacturer Acura, its models mainly end in the letter X. And now, of course, I can't think of any examples, but I think they had a supercar called the NSX or something, maybe. I can't quite remember specific details, but I think that is true. Rhadamanthine. Don't know. Is that a mineral? What is that? Drink once consumed to prevent malaria. Not sure about that either. Breaks the bank. Floods? As in a riverbank? Super useful item, question mark. So super useful item. What is that? There's a pun, as we see with that question mark, but what does it mean? And where jobs may be on the line. Is it something to do with electricity lines or assembly lines? Factories? That would work with that C, but that would mean floods is incorrect. Let's just put it in for a moment and see. If that were factories, so squeezes, actually that would be eeks then at that point, I think. I mean, it seems likely anyway. So does that help here? Super useful item. Oh, a something key, a skeleton key, super. Oh, super. It's super as in a superintendent. So a master key to get into all of the different apartments. There we go. There we go. Scanned, perhaps. Imaged? Yeah. Scanned a photograph. You imaged it, I guess. Rhadamanthine. Still not sure about that. Drink once consumed to prevent malaria. A tonic? It's sort of generic. I mean, or do they mean tonic water specifically with quinine? Because a tonic in a general sense would be, could be an elixir, some kind of medicinal thing. But maybe tonic, actually, you know what? Now that I say that, I do think the quinine, the component in tonic water that makes it bitter, I do think actually I have read or seen somewhere before that was a malaria sort of preventative. Okay, so that I think is right. So breaks the bank is erupts, maybe? Does that work here? Chicago performance. A something dance, actually. No, so that's not erupts. So radamanthine is... I don't know. I just have no idea. Mess with is fuss with, maybe? You sort of fuss with something? I don't know. It works. Religious group affected by the Edict of Nantes. Nantes. Why am I not saying that correctly? Anyway, it looks like the Huguenots, or the Huguenots to me. Sort of French exiles. This way? How do you spell this? Why can't I think of this? I think it's an E. I think it's this way. Breaks the bank. Erodes. Ah, it was a riverbank or that sort of thing, but it's not floods. It was to erode it away, literally breaks it in terms of ruining it, marring it. Okay. Confirmation. Oh, it's a rite. I don't think I looked at that clue before, actually. So confirmation, for instance, in the Catholic context, it could be a rite. Disney's Splash Mountain, for one. Oh, that's a water ride, so maybe this isn't fuss. And then radamanthine is stern. Oh. Is that an adjective that means sort of hard, stern? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. That means nothing to me, really, unfortunately. So mess with something is to futz with it. There you go. And then Chicago performance is a... with this letter, I should be able to see this instantly, but for some reason I can't. Oh, a jazz dance, surely. Okay, sorry. The Chicago performance, jazz dance. Unclear is hazy. There we go. And so look at these 5 words. This is very impressive, isn't it? Master Key, Factories, Huguenot, Water Ride, and Jazz Dance. I mean, coming up with things that would fit that tightly together must be incredibly difficult. I've never attempted to do so myself. All right, moved clumsily is wavered. I don't really think that's moved clumsily. Word before double or after heavenly. Heavenly. Let's see. After heavenly. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. Woodward or Wally? Wally of the big screen, not sure. Jenny? Just don't know. Dirt gatherer. Journo, a muckraker. Could be a different meaning of dirt. I'm thinking of dirt as in sort of, muckraking journalism, but it might be something else. Superhero with a lightning bolt on his costume. Oh, doesn't the Flash, who runs quickly, have a lightning bolt? I'm the wrong person to ask about this. Anyway, it doesn't fit. Pride is to lions as husk. Oh, a pride of lions, so a husk of... I don't know. Maybe I do, but I can't bring it to mind at the moment. Habitation is an abode where you live. Blah, blah, blah is gab, to sort of speak, to yak, to chat, maybe? I'm not 100% certain about that. Gig for a caterer, maybe a gala. Big party at which you'd want lots of catered food. Gum brand with a red, white, and blue wrapper. That's pretty specific, isn't it? Broadway musical with the song These Palace Walls. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be something I recognize or not. We'll have to keep going. Playing time. I don't know. This is not a great corner for me. Blank Future, rap group in which Tyler, the Creator, got his start. I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if this will be something I recognize. I mean, I've heard of Tyler, the Creator, but I don't know the group in which he started. Rio Maker, that's an automobile made by Kia, I think. Kia Rio, that sounds right to me. And even one would be any, not even one, not any, you could say. Oh, this looks like bazooka gum. That's something I recognize. So it has a red, white, and blue wrapper, I suppose. And then, oh, Broadway musical with the song These Palace Walls. Aladdin, I guess? So that's interesting. I guess, is that a song specific to the Broadway musical adaptation of the Disney film, I'm guessing? Because it specifies the Broadway musical here. Odd Future, maybe, the rap group. And then Playing Time would be, oh, Game Day. There we go. So sports thing. And then 37, see 49 down with 37 small carry-on, a something bag. We'll get there. Oh, this looks like Shazam. Oh, right. I think there was a movie about that superhero. So Pride is to lions as a husk of hares. That sounds kind of correct. I wonder if that's right. Venue for computer chips is... Why is there a question mark here? Venue for computer chips. Venue. It's a strange word to use in this context. Venue for computer chips. Not sure. Again, once more. No, that's not long enough. Future residents could be signatories or something. If you sign, I'm wondering if you sign a lease or a letting agreement and you're a future resident. I don't know. I think I'm reaching. Contents of some chats in brief. IMs or DMs, maybe, if it's an online thing. And insolent twerp. Twit, maybe? There are probably other possibilities there. Country whose name can be typed on just the top row of a keyboard. Oh, that's funny. Can I figure that out? I was going to say Ethiopia, but not quite. It's only 4 letters, right? Peru. There we go. Didn't take into account the letter count initially. Something that gives takes. Something that gives takes. So takes as in opinions in this case. Helps out with a lift. Does it end with an S? Bit of kitchen waste. A scrap, a peel, rind. Oh, but with an S, peel and rind are sort of skin of, it could be meat or fruit or something, or vegetable. I guess you could really call this peel or rind in the case of fruit and vegetables. Anyway, helps out with a lift. Not sure. Venue for computer chips. I mean, this looks like maker computer chips. So is it referring to a manufacturer? Why is there a question mark, though? What's the pun? That's what I don't really understand. It makes me think I'm not understanding it in full. Care provider initials. Not sure about that either. Again. Oh, one more time. There we go. Okay. And then care provider initials. Well, in the U.S. you have HMOs, which are some sort of insurance-related grouping of medical providers. Don't remember what it stands for, but the H doesn't look right here, unless I have something else wrong, which I very well could. Hairs could be wrong. Skin could be wrong. Future residents. I'm not seeing it. All right, helps out with a list. Gotta get a move on here on this puzzle. I'm really crawling at this point. Helps out with a lift. Up something? I don't know. Moved clumsily. I mean, wavered does fit. Waffled does not. Neither of those is just a clear and obvious match. Oh, what did I say about this? I said it could be Jenny, although with the position of that N. Janine, maybe? Trying to think of names that fit with a J and that N position. So that could be Janine. Word before double or after heavenly. So double, Body double? Heavenly body? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that works. Okay. So it's not Janine. They're all, sorry, Janine. So body double or heavenly body. Does that work? After heavenly, before double. Yes, that is correct. Okay. Oh, so moved clumsily is waddled. There we go. Don't know why I couldn't see that. Oh, so Joanne Woodward or Joanne Wally. Those actually sound familiar now that I typed that in. Trigonometry measures radians. Or sorry, measure. It could be measurement, not measure. It doesn't have to be measures, plural, which is why this is singular, and that's fine. Dirt gatherer is a broom. Okay, straightforward enough. More straightforward than I was making it. So future residents are med students, right? Because they will do their medical residency at some point in the future. Insolent twerp. Okay, not a twit. It's a something. Venue for computer chips. On. This is surprising. Ooh, excuse me. Very tired today, apparently. Something that gives takes is. I don't know. Oh, right. And the small carry-on is a tote bag. How about that? There we go. Needed something over here and finally got it. Helps out with a lift. Okay, she helps out with a lift. She spots at a gym with a there you go, with lifting weights. Okay, spot somebody. Something that gives takes is an op-ed, right? So an opinion piece in the newspaper. And then an insolent twerp is a snot, a little snot, you could say. There we go. All right. Oh, venue for computer chips is online poker. I was completely on the wrong track, not even remotely on target. So that's why the question mark was there, indicating a pun. Computer chips, meaning virtual casino chips, virtual sort of funds for betting. So online poker, very clever. All right, anything I didn't see in here? Yes. Care provider initials are EMT, emergency medical technician. There we go. And then the contents of some chats and brief are IMs, instant messages, not direct messages. And I think we had everything else. All right, great, good. I'm glad we finally finished that off. So flat topper is, oh, I didn't see this. What is that? I don't know. Makes nervous or worried. And they come with condition terms, but that sort of sounds redundant. Boy, all those letters look like they play well with the others, though, but I don't know. Never thought I'd see the day. Bit of album info. Okay, so what could this be? Bit of album info. It could be an album of photographs. I mean, it doesn't seem incredibly likely. A music album would be my first guess. Running time or track list or track count or artist name or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a different kind of album. Or I'm just not thinking of the thing. I mean, I think that's more likely, to be honest. Taxes is something. Show some hesitancy. Hem, haw. Could be hem or haw. Could be something else. Blank the day. Alas the day, maybe. Kind of sounds familiar, but I don't know. Reach quickly in a way. North Carolina County, whose seat is Jefferson. Vibe. Okay, so what did I think this was? Feel. Let's put that in. Does that help? Oops. At all? It's a never thought I'd see the day. I don't know. Oh, why can't I see what this is? Bit of album. Oh, release date. There we go. Okay, all these things I didn't think, because I was thinking of things that might be printed on the album as opposed to information about the album. That was just a completely poor train of thought. All right, there we go. Show some hesitancy. It still could be hem, actually, then, in that case. Does that help at all? Never thought I'd see the day. that's something like that. Taxes. Tries your patience. It taxes you. It tries you. There we go. Then Kwame works. So never thought I'd see the day. So it could be this or that. That's so maybe this is hem. Kind of surprised that worked out being the case. If so, where to see the big picture? An IMAX theater. There we go. IMAX being a large film format. Okay, so this is a last the day probably. That's what I thought. And then reach quickly in a way is text. Oh, to reach somebody quickly, to text them, to reach them in communication. Okay, so, that's a first. Okay, right, I just couldn't get there before. Never thought I'd see the day. That's a first. And then makes nervous or worries, rattles. You rattle somebody, you make them nervous or worried. Flat topper is a tam, a hat, tam o'shanter. And then they come with conditions. It is terms. That's funny. That's very surprising to me. Okay. Oh, they come with, as in they come alongside conditions, not they come. I was thinking of it as then the terms sort of own the conditions, but that doesn't need to be that. You don't need to read it that way. All right, there we go. And that's it. Tough puzzle. I really had to work throughout that entire thing. I never really reached a tipping point, as yesterday, I think, where I was able to speed through the rest of the puzzle. So, yeah, that was a tough one. And we had some tough knowledge in there. Kwame Nkrumah, James I, the Huguenots. I mean, there were some, those are, I would say, some of those I happened to be able to get fairly quickly. But I mean, that's not pushover knowledge, I wouldn't say necessarily. Yeah, some tricky things in here. Shazam, I don't know, maybe that's common knowledge. Yeah, I didn't know this Joanne, although I kind of did recognize the names after I saw them. I guess that happens a lot with me with actors. Anyway, yeah, I thought this was a tough puzzle. Definitely lived up to Saturday for me anyway, but let me know how you fared with that. And there we have it. A second puzzle from Andrew Linzer. I think a very good puzzle, and I think impressively constructed. We have all of these big stacks here. I mean, just pretty impressive construction, I would say, especially down here. I mean, these are some strange words to fit together, I have to say. Jazz dance, Huguenots, I mean, yeah, it's impressive. Anyway, well done, and let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. How about that? So, John Mayhew points out the pirate song that was referenced in yesterday's puzzle, which I considered maybe, was that the Pirates of the Caribbean song from the Disney attraction? And then I said, no, I don't think so. I think it predates that. But I wasn't very confident about the whole thing. And John Mayhew points out it is a fictional shanty from Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island, which of course it was. And of course, as soon as I saw people commenting on that, I realized my mistake, or my lapse, I guess, in memory. The quotation here is 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil had done for the rest, singing yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. I mean, that's just great sort of shanty writing. And then Speckle Thing says, you were confusing two pirate songs in the 43 across answer. Dead Man's Chest, also known as 15 Men on a Dead Man's Chest or Yo-Ho-Ho and a Bottle of Rum, is a fictional sea song, originally from Robert Louis Stevenson's novel Treasure Island, 1883. Yo-Ho-Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me, is the theme song for the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction at Disney theme parks. The music was written by George Bruns with lyrics by Xavier Atencio, 1967. And yes, that is definitely true. And I have to just, because I did bring up the Yo-Ho-Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me song, I do have to credit Xavier Atencio, the writer of those lyrics, who did a fantastic job and also wrote the lyrics to the song Grim Grinning Ghosts, and I think the full sort of script for the attraction for the Haunted Mansion, which includes the song Grim Grinning Ghosts. And it's just it's really, really great sort of comic writing that also really fits the eerie tone. And I would say this absolutely the same thing for Yo Ho Ho, A Pirate's Life for me. That's possibly even more impressive writing, I think. And the reason I'm pointing all of this out is because Ex Atencio, which is often how he's known, was an artist. He was an animator and concept artist. And Walt Disney approached him when he was in the early stages of Disneyland, or maybe, I don't know if it was the early stages, but at some point during the development of Disneyland, and said, I think you should come write these songs and help design these attractions. And Ex Atencio's, well, I've never written song lyrics before. He was an artist, he was an animator. And Disney, for whatever reason, said, I just think you're the right person to do this. And he absolutely was. And I just always think that's such an interesting thing in creative work when people are kind of tapped outside of their primary roles, but then end up having an incredible facility for something, as Ex Atencio did, and worked on Disney attractions for many years after that. Anyway, just great. Both of those, the Robert Louis Stevenson and the Ex Atencio lyrics, both just really fantastic pirate writing. And then Collarn makes the interesting observation, it's fascinating to learn that the Stevenson song has no canonical or canonized melody, which makes sense, I guess, because it came from a novel. I had one in my head before starting to research this, probably from an adaptation I saw or heard as a kid, but it didn't bear much resemblance to any of the renditions I could find on YouTube. Yes, that really is fascinating, and I think that was actually the root of my confusion yesterday when I was thinking about these, because I could think of the melody to Yo Ho Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me, but not to the lyrics to the Stevenson bit, which were quoted in the puzzle. And I think for that reason, the Yo Ho Ho song sort of overwrote the other, because the power of the melody kind of pushed itself further to the forefront of my mind. Yeah, that's such an interesting point, that as iconic as the 15... Oh, sorry, I've already confused them again with that Yo Ho Ho. Sorry. Yo Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me, not Yo Ho Ho. Anyway, but yes, as iconic as the Stevenson lyrics are, it's so interesting that they don't have a canonical melody, because they derive from prose. Anyway, sorry, that was all much longer than I intended to go on about that. Let's keep going. So Aldfooter points out, Davy Jones of Monkees fame, this isn't a correction, just an interesting point. Davy Jones of the Monkees was a child actor in the UK, registered with Equity, Actors Equity, the sort of actors union, and thus another David Jones had to become David Bowie for his musical career. And that is an amazing point. And then Spiegelthing adds, this is true, but even before he settled on the name David Bowie, he started recording under the name Tom Jones before realizing that name was also taken. That is incredible. David Bowie first tried his original name, David Jones, couldn't do that. Then Tom Jones, couldn't do that. Had to end up with the iconic eventual David Bowie. That's quite something. And finally, Tegan Hughes explains, Adie Bryant was an SNL cast member for 10 years. She actually just left the show at the end of this most recent season 47. She also had a Hulu show called Shrill for a while. So I looked up Adie Bryant after the puzzle, and I recognized her by sight. Didn't know the name Adie Bryant. I don't really keep up with Saturday Night Live, but yes, I definitely recognized the actress by sight. So thank you for that additional note. And that's it. That's all for today's puzzle. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow with the much longer Sunday puzzle, and I'm going to sneeze, so I'm going to get out of here quickly. All right, take care. Bye for now.